Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us. My name is, of course, Dax, and this is Country Thunder Racing, and tonight we are doing it all from Melbourne, from Albert Park in Melbourne. Right now, the Brute Utes have joined the track for qualifying. So I want to introduce a special guest commentator for this evening. He is one of the racers in the Super 2 series, but unfortunately he didn't make it to the other events for the weekend. So we have Bill Cosmo, if we can hear him. Can we hear you, Bill?
Yes. Hello, everyone. How are we all going?
G'day, Bill.
Are you well, Thanks, Thanks for tonight. It's been fantastic to be here. Although I've made it on this occasion, but I missed out on the racing occasion. So
I know it was quite the drama for you, because you were working because of Easter, so you were working quite late, and so you didn't actually get to the events. And then once you did get home, you were locked out of the events because they'd already started.
That is correct, 100%. That's right. So we have a different opportunity and something new to learn today.
The 10K man in the commentary booth. I'm sure you know who that is, right?
Oh, that's all me.
That's all you. Well, there you go. You're in the commentary booth. We've got someone watching on Twitch. Welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. As I said, we've got the Brute Utes on the track. So we've got the Ford FG FPV Pursuit Ute and the Holden Maloo. These were big up until 2016, 2017, and then they disappeared, which is not a good thing, because I think we should have always had these. These were the best utes around.
I would say yes. Not that I had the chance to see much too of them, but racing them has just been a different experience, actually.
It is a different experience because they are so edgy. There's no aero on the back end and all of this stuff, so it's easy to slide the back out. So it's very hard to control these compared to a supercar.
That is 100% right. As my experience tells me, driving them for the first time actually a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. Yeah. And there we see Ross Macaroni on track. How's that?
A superb driver, Ross.
Ross is a great driver. And I tell you, someone that's in the Twitch right now who said the 10K man in the commentary booth, Cooper Shipley. Cooper Shipley's also in this race in a Holden Maloo.
There's another young, fine driver, brilliant driver. For a young man who's going to be even better as he gets older.
One we call a young gun, don't we?
100%.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to have you here, Ship. So yeah, we're looking at Ross Macarone on screen. He did quite well in the warm up and in the races. As I say, we've got a few things on tonight. We've got the Brute Utes. This is all replay. These events already happened through the week, but we've got the Brute Utes, the Super 2s, and the Gen 3 Supercars all on one night for this huge event, and I'm so glad to have you here, Bill.
No worries, mate. I've bought my sleeping bag as well, because obviously it's going to be a big night as well. So
yeah,
I will do my best. I've got plenty of coffee lined up, so don't worry about that.
We're looking at a 3.5 hour stream, roughly. So, provided it all goes to plan.
It's going to be a great evening.
It is going to be a great evening. So,
or a night, whatever way you want to call it. It's going to be quite entertaining.
It will be. That is for sure. So, these... I think these were doing about between 206, 207 was the average. A couple of people hit into the 205s and 204s.
Well, it's a very good time. I didn't really get a chance to drive this and get a track time on this, but Dax, whatever you're saying there, you're on the money there. So
yes, we can't really see the times that they get because it is a replay, unfortunately. Welcome to the, we had a couple of new drivers in actually. Welcome to the new people that have just joined us on Facebook and of course on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you give us a like, hit the follow buttons, hit the subscribe buttons. You know all the stuff. Share the stream around, get other people involved. It all helps keep us going. So make sure you do all that. Yeah, I was just going to say, we had some new drivers. Dave Locono was a new driver. Quite impressive in his first time out. That's Dave on screen there in the, I think it's called the Allgate Maloo. There's me. There's me.
Oh, there's Mr. Dax himself.
There's Mr. Dax himself, that's right. I'm in the Bob Jane T-Mart McDonald's FPV Ford Pursuit. We got two of those on track tonight because we had a young gun driver who joined us and wanted to join Country Thunder Racing. So Jason Douglas, that's the man right there in the second of the Country Thunder Utes.
We have two liveries.
We've got the same livery on two cars.
Yes.
So yes, that's it. So it might seem quite confusing, but by the time we get to the race, I'll let you know that I had my headlights on and he had his headlights off. So it was easy to figure out. It was like, okay, there's me.
That makes it. There's Dax working hard through the years. Go get to that apex.
It's a tricky track. I mean, it's fast flowing, but some of those corners, especially in these utes, can knock you sideways. And I noticed even in qualifying, Gary Pozzi was having problems with rear end grip and keeping the back on the black stuff.
Yes, he likes to go sideways.
He certainly does.
Yes, very good driver as well. He's a very good drifter as well, actually. So,
well, that was perfect for him then, because that's what he was doing most of the time, drifting it sideways.
So his tyres were always ready for the next apex. So good on him. He's very hard to catch as well.
Yeah, so we had a fair few join this one. We had Cooper Shipley, Ross Macaroni. We had Mr. Dave Locono, myself, Jason Douglas. We had Josh Bob jump in. We had Gary Pozzi jump in. So there was quite a good field in the Brute Utes, and the race will be coming up later in the programming tonight. But first, this is just qualifying for that event. So tell us about, you're from Melbourne, so tell us about the Albert Park track.
Well, the Albert Park track, the way it looks today, obviously having as Jeff Kennett stole the Grand Prix from Adelaide.
He did.
Many years ago. Albert Park did not look like this, I can tell you that now. A lot of money spent, there was a lot of trees. I never got a chance to drive through it. I think maybe once after I did get my licence back in 1989.
Oh, God.
Actually, yeah, a very, very long time ago. I think I only drove through it once and it did not look like this.
Right.
A lot of trees, so obviously it's a park.
Yep.
There was one road that just went through. It's very skinny roads, and there was two football grounds, or one was a soccer ground, and the other one was the Sydney Swans, which was the.
So my understanding is that road basically went through from the city through to the Port of Melbourne, right?
Correct.
Yep. Yeah, because I used to live in Victoria for a while, and so I do remember this area. In fact, some of the big music promotion companies like Premier Artists were based in Albert Park.
Correct. There's a lot of those popular people around that area there. It's quite a prestigious area now, especially on the Canterbury Road side, which is the back part towards the beach. You got a tram line that goes through from the city into St Kilda as well.
Now I can't really call that a tram line because it's really a light rail line in that section, because it's not running along the road; it's running along its own tracks.
Correct. Yes, it is. Yeah, we do not want trams on the road. Yeah, it's on its own rails, so it separates the traffic as well. So it's pretty good.
I always found it funny when I was living in Melbourne, especially when you had to come into the city and you had to turn right from the left-hand lane. I was like, what is this? This hook right-hand turn from the left-hand lane.
A little bit of getting used to.
Yes.
Let's put it to you that way.
That's right. All right, we've got the Super 2s now. That was, I'll just let you know, the fastest time for the qualifying there in round 2 was Jason Douglas in a Country Thunder Falcon. So that was awesome. For my brand, of course. And now we're on with the Super 2s. And look, there's you. Tell us what you've got going on there.
Oh, there's a lot going on as soon as that visor goes down and the lights go green. It is pretty much getting yourself switched on as quickly as you can.
Tell me about this car livery, mate.
Oh, the car livery, this great man, Dax Daniels, who created this as a surprise package. It was a wow factor. It was different, and it's got my liveries that I do adore over many years.
Yep.
Of the Shell Helix. I'm a Ford fan.
Yep.
I barrack for the Dick Johnson racing team.
Yep.
And Dax made this special livery iconic, which has got a bit of the Melbourne city into the car, into the picture of the car, let's just say. It looks amazing.
On the skin of the car, that's right. So
Yeah.
so what I called them was the Skyline livery. So he basically, that's my car, the Country Thunder car, and I changed from a Ford to an Ultima because we changed to Super 2. Now, your one has the view of, what do they call it? South Bank, right?
Correct, yes, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
So we've got South Bank on your car, and we've got the Sydney Skyline on my car.
And they absolutely look fantastic.
And the stars across the top of your car was a play on words, because I was thinking cosmos, so that's why there's stars across the top of your car.
I get that now. That was very smart and very thoughtful of.
I wanted to make something that wasn't like, I'm not one of these people to replicate a livery. I will do custom stuff like this because I've got ideas and I've got thoughts, and I think creating your own artwork is better than replicating something else that's already been done.
Well, you've done a great job there doing that, Dax, so full marks to you.
I've done it to a number of cars.
Correct. I'm always waiting for your next one, actually. So very interesting.
Well, we've got a couple of liveries coming up in the Gen 3 Indigenous rounds at Darwin and Townsville. So there'll be some new liveries being shown on those rounds, and we've also got liveries in the Utes. We've got liveries in the which you haven't driven the Utes yet. I mean, what's going on with that?
I need to get up a little bit earlier, Dax, so I can. I'll do plenty of practice during the week.
Yep. Playback racing, Norwegian Viking, Steiner. Yes, this is playback racing. We did the we did the races through the week this week, and so I've packaged them all together just so we can show you all what went on. It was a great event. We did the Super 2s on Monday. We did the Brute Utes and the Gen 3s on Wednesday. So I just thought it was best to... Oh, Cosmo, you're going wide there, mate. That's not the road.
Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at, but
I think you were looking at who was in front of you, and they went off.
I think that was like an incident of Alonso and George Russell, actually.
So thank you for joining us, Steiner. Good to see you there. It's the Norwegian Viking all the way from Norway. Coming in to say good day. Are you working today? So can you see the chat up there? So if anybody wants to ask Bill a question, feel free. There's a chat there. He might have to put his glasses on so he can read it, but he should be able to read it. Can you see the chat, Bill?
Yes, I can. Yep,
good.
Yep, I can now.
Oh, well, it's good that you're not working, sir. There you go. I'm setting up a new stream setup. Good. Well, we are right into this stream now. This is the second qualifying. This is the Super 2s that are qualifying now. And we'll get the racing underway real soon. But again, a couple of new people joined this. We had...
I think we had just around nearly the 10 cars on the track. Max.
We had Sean North joining, of course. We had Joel Vitale. Joel Vitale, very Italian name. He joined us. Jason Douglas was on track. In next round, he'll have a Country Thunder livery again because he's joined Country Thunder Racing in the Nissan Altimas. We had myself, we had you and Benny A. Benny A.
Another good driver there as well.
Yes.
Benny A. I think he did win one of the races, I believe. My memory serves me correct. Thanks.
Yes, that's true. So this is Joel Vitale. This is his first time out with us. Actually, a very good racer as well. You know, us old guys like to stay at the back. Or, you know, we don't compete too much, but you know.
We tried to be competitive for our age.
Yeah, for our age. But all these young guns are coming through, and they've really got a great deal more pace than you and I could ever come up with.
Well, yeah, it's just it's a bit of putting it all together in one single lap and just going flat out, as you want to say. And let's see what the outcome will be.
Yep.
After the lap, and it's just a lot of practice. But the young guys seem to be very, very agile, very quick, very switched on.
So how are you going for practice? Because next week on Monday we're at a track that we've never been to. We're off to New Zealand for the Super 2s on Monday.
Let me just say, I'm not looking forward to it.
And we're at I think we're at Pukekohe on Wednesday for the 2014 Supercar Series.
That is a great track. I know that track very, very well.
Yes.
And,
that's got to be me. Yes, it's me.
Yes, it is.
Can you see the anger in the eyes?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You obviously went a little bit too hot into that apex and found yourself into the barrier.
I think I missed the apex altogether and just went wide.
Oh, that's all about trying, Dax. All about trying it. Just putting your car in spot where you can gain some time and
yep.
Trying to get past the slap.
Of course, Mad Macca was in this one too, and Nudge came out for this one too. I mean, there was a few. A first corner incident in race 1 actually took a couple of them out, but like it was really great to have so many drivers on track for the Super 2s.
Well, that's right. We were trying to promote this as much as we can, and obviously there's a race every week, Dax, I believe. So
absolutely, we do have different categories, of course. So the Gen 3 Supercars are in line with the Gen 3 calendar. The Brute Utes are a support act to that calendar. The Super 2s, we're running basically that calendar, but we're running them over the next 12 weeks. We've done 2 rounds already. We've got 10 to go. So that one's going to be in quick succession. And then I'm looking at taking the Super 2s on international tracks. Like that. Like did Norwegian Vikings just said he's going to race on Norschleife. Maybe Norschleife is a track that we can take the Super 2s to and see how we can do.
Sounds very exciting there.
Yes.
As we say, we never walk away from a challenge.
So we won't be taking the Gen 3s to the international thing, but we will look at taking the... And it's mainly because the Gen 3s are a paid mod. Not everybody has access to them, but these Super 2s, everybody can get them, and they're quite different to drive. So every car that we've raced this weekend are very different to drive, aren't they?
Correct, they are. That's right. Sometimes any track it's very. You have to get used to it. You have to adjust your settings, your car settings, and just keep trying and keep testing. And you will have to do your minimum 200 laps of practice before you can enter a race these days.
I haven't seen you do any practice for ATCM coming up on Sunday at Barbagallo, and that's 2 58 lap races. That is going to be hard. 58 laps, so basically it's just under a minute around that track. All right. So you think
an hour of racing
twice. Flat out, no stopping.
Apart from one fuel stop, I believe.
There will be. I don't know whether it's fuel stop or tyre stop. I haven't really had a look, but I know it's this Sunday. I've done some laps. I've got down to a 57.7 around the track in the XD Falcon.
Oh, that's a very good time there, Dax. I think you've gone a little bit quicker than me.
And here is the Gen 3 Supercars. Starting off is Alex Fazzari, the Faz.
Alex is very attracted to a green colour car.
He is. He liked the Randall car, and when he signed up, the Randall car actually wasn't available, so I had to switch another driver that didn't show up for the event so that he could have this car.
Yeah, he's been racing for a while now. A very good driver, very fast. He's getting faster to each race, and he loves a great challenge.
So we've got AC Touring Car Masters are in the house. Mr. Shipley's in the house, right? He says ATCM is the best league ever. Well, we have different styles, but I like to race in that league as well. It's an older cars. We've got the XD Falcons, XE Falcons, VH and VK Commodores. We've got RX-7s. We've got BMWs. We've got Bluebirds. I mean, it's an interesting pack of cars from a bygone era that I remember well, and it's good to be able to get in those cars and race them around these tracks.
Well, they could be everyone's favourites actually back in the early to mid 80s.
Yeah, well, the XD was 1980, XE 83, so 80 to 82 was the XD, and 83 was the XE.
Yeah, it was a very great era of cars, actually very iconic. So the Peter Brock cars, the Dick Johnson cars, even the Nissan of Fury as well.
Well, when you run the XD, you run the true True Blue livery of Dick Johnson, don't
I
you?
run the True Blue livery, yes, I do.
Yes, that's right.
It's a great car, that one, the blue one. Same as the green stuff, the one that Alex Fazzari drives as well.
Yes, that's the XE, that's right. Yep.
That's
A great era of racing there. So Jason Douglas is, again, a new driver of ours here, and you'll see some great racing from him. That's me in the number 11. The number 12 didn't, the number 17 didn't make it to this race.
No, unfortunately, I would have loved to, but I just missed out by about 5 minutes or so. I was locked out, so I couldn't get in.
Yeah, that's true.
So trying to tell a racer you can't drive tonight is you can't take that.
So there you go. There you go. Mr. Shipley has said the era is basically 1984, the last of the big bangers before they moved to Group A. There you go. That is very true.
That was the last race, yes.
Yeah. So awesome stuff. So we do racing not just with CTR. Obviously CTR we do Mondays and Wednesday nights, and then we do racing with ATCM on alternate Sundays and Delta with on Sundays, and we also do racing with MSR on Fridays. So we've got a full calendar.
Always busy. Is always busy. It's a very busy. It's going to be a very busy year this year.
It is.
The Gen 3s, and all the iconic cars over the last, you could probably say, 40 years.
Well, we're going back as far as 1992 in our league in CTR, and we've got the 1984 stuff over at ATCM. We've got the 2014 Supercars here at CTR, and then we go through to the Super 2s and the Gen 3s.
There's a great variety of different series, so if you're watching the stream, come and join it. Check the calendar out, and there is a race. You can probably say four times a week, Dax.
That is very true.
On a busy week.
On a busy week, you're going to have 5 races with all of those. Four races within that week. You're going to have on a busy week. You're going to have a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, and a Sunday.
And somewhere in between there, you got to fit in your sleep as well.
Well, no time for that. We'll sleep when we're dead.
For a very long time.
That's right. So I'll just let you know that we did the Super 2s. The fastest lap in the Super 2s before the Gen 3s came out. Benny Asplin blew us all away in qualifying. Sleep is optional, Shipley says.
Yes, Mr. Shipley, it is. Sleep is optional. Well, you young guys are pretty. You can stay pretty late actually, and obviously the school holidays these days. The next 2 weeks? 2 weeks, yeah. The school holidays have started. Easter, obviously, it's Good Friday, so welcome, happy Easter to everybody. Hope you're enjoying the holiday. If you are on holidays, some people don't get that luxury these days. Retail is still going. I remember the day when public holidays, all the shops were closed. That's right. Back in the day, that's right.
And now you want to go to McDonald's, you can still go to McDonald's. If you want to go to Woolworths, you can still go to Woolworths. It's like, well, no, I don't. It's a public holiday. Everybody should be on holidays.
Oh, it doesn't work that day these days.
Well, that's really funny because actually Melbourne was the first city to have 24-hour trading in the retail sector. So there's supermarkets that operate 24 hours a day in Melbourne, right?
Correct. We have the 7-Elevens. On a public holiday, you might get your major shopping centres, as in your Woolies and your Colts and all that being closed on a Good Friday. But we got the IGA and the Richies. Actually, my daughter had given me a call today. Oh, we need milk. So we went into a cold store and that was closed. So yep. I think a Richie store might be open, which was so it didn't disappoint her. So yeah, she got her milk at the end of the day, so she can make her coffee.
Awesome. Welcome if you've joined us on Twitch. Great to see you there. Please make sure you give us a like. Follow Country Thunder Racing, Country Thunder Gaming, and we'll keep bringing more of this stuff to you. This one is a replay event because we had all of these races this week, so I thought I'd throw them all together in a nice package and invite one of my mates along, and we can have a chat about what's going on. This guy here, John Brown, we call him Johnny Bro. He's from New Zealand, so he's driving a New Zealander's car because he's driving Heimgartner's car. So he's pretty quick too. Actually, every driver we've had in these things have been pretty damn good. Except for me. I end up at the back of the field somewhere.
No, you're pretty good yourself. You're getting there. They're improving. You just jump on and just trying to improve.
Yes.
Lap by lap.
Lap by lap. We're just trying to make it happen.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, so it was good that we had one shell car on the track on Wednesday.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Shelby Power.
Yes, well, I was almost going to switch over because nobody's got the Walkinshaw cars. The Walkinshaw United cars. So I was almost going to switch from the Shell to the Walkinshaw, and then you didn't turn up, so I was like, no, there has to be a Shell car on the track.
That is the Mustangs, actually. Got to have a Shell car on the track.
That's exactly right.
The Optus car, the Andretti car, is a very fine car as well, so surprisingly no one decided to use it on the race at Albert Park.
Well, I think it's just I think it's just that we don't have, as I said, because this is a paid mod from BCRC Gaming. If you want to get into the Gen 3 Supercars, the only way you can do it is to sign up to his Patreon. So that is www.patreon.com/BCRC. If you go there and sign up with BCRC, you'll be able to get access to these beautiful vehicles, which have just been updated. So please download the updates, Bill, because they've been updated on the server already. So if you don't have the updates, you'll be locked out again.
Yes, I will be doing that after the stream decks tonight, so I'll put that on my
to-do list.
To-do list and to remember it. So that will happen tonight or early tomorrow morning.
Oh, look at that. The Australian Touring Car Masters, ATCM, has the Touring Car Masters has followed our channel. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the follow. That is fantastic, Ship. And we've got someone back, and another person's followed our channel. Look at that. SSU Yash followed our channel. Thank you very much for the follow. Hello and welcome. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us. So this is qualifying for the Gen 3 Supercar race, which is coming up later in the program. All replayed because we did it through the week. We did Monday and Wednesday nights, and I don't have the right equipment right now to broadcast live. We're trying to get there. It all takes money. It all takes, stuff that I don't have right now.
And plenty of time as well.
How many people are in the race? Well, it depends on which cars we're talking about and how late it went. So here we go. We've finished with that. I'll let you know that the best qualifier was Jason Douglas. And now this is the one and only race for the Brute Utes. You'll see there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 cars in this race. This is a 20-minute race, and it was just flat stat. No pit stops, no nothing, just go for your life. Utes had 8 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there might be one that's not on the track. Yeah,
You're about on the mark there, Dax. And obviously, there's always going to be people missing. So,
well, people come
on the best day,
people come and go. That's right.
That's right. You'll have about 10 to 11, 12 cars.
Cosmo's not here for these races because he's usually working. So there we see Jason Douglas getting off to a great start. Cooper Shipley and Ross Macaroni sitting in just behind. Macaroni in the Ford and Cooper in the Maloo. And Ross makes a big mistake coming out of turn 2 there.
He used all of his experience into that first right-hander, and although he went a little bit sideways, his experience got him through. So great job there.
And if you actually looked in the rear vision mirror just then, he was going off sideways again.
Well, that's what he does. He always says, you got to be fast.
So I believe Australian Assetto Corsa Touring Car Masters has chucked their Discord into the stream chat. So if you do want to join the boys with the big bangers, please come along. It is a quite a big field. I believe 30 people signed up, so I'm not sure how many places are available. But it's fun racing.
Yeah, if you like those old big banger cars, join in. It's a great fun.
It is great fun.
All the lads there are good, and come in and have a fight.
Absolutely.
On the
track. Not in the voice.
On the track.
So this was. Oh, you're plugging my Discord. Actually, my Discord's in the description. It should be in the description. I don't know if it's in the description on Twitch, but it should be in the description. It's on the description of Facebook. I know that much.
Well, Mr. Douglas has taken a nice lead.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. There you go. I also want to join the league. You are welcome to join our league. Please do just jump into our Discord that ATCCM have put up there for us. That is the link for you. Apparently my link has expired, so I have to update that. Thank you very much, Ship.
But there's Gary there going with his familiar sideways into the apex.
I just feel like he couldn't control the back end of this car because that's not the only time that I saw him do it throughout this race. He was
getting onto the accelerator pretty early.
How do you get the sim racer roll? Well, after I've done this stream, I will go and actually I could probably do it right now. Hold on a second. How do you get the sim racer roll? I have to give it to you. So I go up here and I go public chat and I go, oh, look there, Suyash. And then I hit rolls and sim racer. And now you have the sim racer roll. So, yeah, this was an interesting race. Can he go sideways? Yes, there he goes. He goes. He's very loose out of the corners. He puts the power down too quickly out of the corners with these Utes, and it just doesn't work for him. So he didn't get a great. Do we have damage on our league? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It is not 100%. It is 50%, and 50% can put you out of a race, and you'll find it out later in the telecast. Actually, we had some dramas in a few of them. No assist, no traction control, no ABS, no nothing like that. You get out and race the cars. These don't come with traction control. They don't come with ABS as standard, so we don't run it.
Plenty of practice and you'll be fine. Now, Dax, did you do much of a setup on this car?
Yeah, we actually played around. Mr. Douglas and myself played around for a few laps of Melbourne, and got a setup that seemed quite stable. But that's the thing, you need Sir Napsalot drama. I got here at the right time. G'day Dax, how are you? G'day Naps, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the stream. The setups are locked, right? No. All right. Most leagues, well, some leagues have fixed setups. I don't believe in that, and I know there's some people out there that'll tell you fixed setups, you need to do that for leagues and this and that, but I don't think so. I think if you can set up the car the right way and you're quick on race day, then you're going to win. If you can keep it on the track and you've got your setup right, it's fine. All right.
Yeah, we do share our setups between all the drivers. So if you jump on VC,
yep,
on the voice channel, we sit there and we discuss our setups between drivers. It's all about having fun.
There's only one category. There's only one category that we run at the moment that has a fixed setup, and that is our Toyota 86 Championship, because they are as they are. So we locked in a setup for all cars so that they were exactly the same. But all these you can find milliseconds by changing a damper setting or changing so there's aero settings and all these settings that can make a car react differently. So we like to give you the full ability to actually master the car and get it feeling right for you. And like as you said, Cosmo, we share setups, but sometimes what Cosmo puts on his car doesn't work for me, and what I put on my car doesn't work for Cosmo. So, because everybody's setup is different at home too, so everybody's rig is different, everybody's steering is different, everybody's brake pedals are different. All of that type of stuff so setting up your own car is a good thing. Having a base to go off is good, but then fine-tuning it to suit yourself.
And everyone's got a different driving style, so with sharing the setups and having comments discussing how you're driving your car on track.
Naps, you know who I was talking about right then, yes. And as I said, we only have one league where we have a fixed setup, and that's the Toyota 86s. Everything else, you have to set it up yourself. You have to feel comfortable in your own car, and I'm not changing that just because Johnny says. he's probably in listening. He's probably sitting there listening somewhere. Either that or he's live as well somewhere doing pirating or something.
And there's one of your liveries in first spot, I believe there, Dax.
Yep, Jason Douglas did an amazing job in the first race. He powered on with this car. He got it set up so nice. It just sat so well on the road. And so his setup worked well for him. Again, probably not as well for me, but it was quicker than I'd ever been in one of these cars. So we've still got heaps more to come, guys. Obviously, this is the one and only Brute Ute race for Melbourne, but we've got 2 races coming up for the Super 2 category and 2 races coming up for the Gen 3 Supercars as well. They'll be on track a little bit later, and we've got a little special thing in between the 2 races as well from those things. So stick around. We've got a lot more to come. This is just the first race of a whole weekend. How do you know who is in which position? Well, at this point in time, it looks like Jason Douglas is in first place. I would believe Cooper Shipley is in second. I also believe that Dave Lolacono is in third, and Ross Macaroni is in fourth, and I'm in fifth. Gary is in sixth, and Josh Bob, I don't know what happened to him. He was there, but don't know what happened to him. How do you know? That's why we have commentary. We're going to talk you through it. So that's fine. But
there's some fine driving there by Gary.
Yeah.
Sideways again.
He likes to do that. He pushes hard out of a corner. Probably brakes too hard into a corner, then pushes too hard out of the corner, and it just brings the back end round.
It will suit some cars, but it won't suit all the cars.
Well, it's another thing. It's his driving style. You know, if it suits him, then and it works for him. I don't think it worked for him in the Utes, so obviously he didn't get a place in the race. Neither did I. But you know, I was fairly non-competitive. I'm 20 seconds behind Ross. So, having not driven the Utes, how do you feel you would go in one of these?
I couldn't tell you, Dex, until I enter my first race. Actually, in practice, it feels pretty good. Once you get a nice setup, car performs well, and I need to enter a first race with these cars. They are a little bit different to the actual Super 2s and the Gen 3s. It's a different challenge, so I'm all waiting for it.
Well, you do have a Shell Helix livery waiting for you as well.
Haven't been used yet.
No, that's right. It hasn't been seen on the track.
It will happen.
I even did my racing show.
You. Yep.
So, yep, this is...
As you see, Dax is very good with his liveries. Even the driver suit, helmet.
Yeah, well, that was just a one-off. I tried that one.
Done a good job there again.
Shipley sent me the templates for them, and they were Photoshop templates. But I had to figure out that to change what you wanted it to and still make it look like a suit, you had to get the layers and open the layers up and change the colour you wanted on a certain layer, and it was hard work.
Yeah, Cooper Shipley has mastered that. He's done he's done a great job, actually. He's done one of my liveries and absolutely looks amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He did the Jim Beam livery for you, didn't he?
Yes, he done me a Jim Beam livery, which was used in one of the Bathurst races. There was a silver one and a gold one. I can't remember which year it was, or 2008 or 9. It was only used once for the Great Race. And I happened to come across it and liked it very much, and I sent my thoughts all to Shipley. This is what I would like, and he owed me a birthday present, actually, so I got the one and only wish, so I had to make it a really good one. So it came through, and it absolutely looks amazing.
So we're just about towards the end of this race, and
we've got a comment here from what's his name, Dax? I can't pronounce it.
Suyash.
Yeah, the next race will be on Monday.
Yep, next race is Monday at, depending on where you are in the world, it is 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Now, does daylight saving... I am in India. All right, so India is... Right now in India, it is... Let me see. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. in India. If I remember my times right, it's 7 p.m. in India. So, that would make it, on Monday, it would be 3 p.m. in India. Oh, 6:30. Okay, 6:30. So, 2:30 in the afternoon would be when it starts on Monday. So that might be difficult depending on whether you're working or... And there goes Posy. Made an absolute...
He made a mess of that one. But he's quick to get going again.
That was what I found really interesting about that incident right there. He came off, he slid, he hit the wall, he'd reversed his car, and he was back out on track without any problem really quickly. Me, it takes me half an hour just to turn the car back around.
It all depends which way you're facing, Dax.
Monday's is the Super 2 series, which is the next race in this broadcast.
But feel free to practice as well. You'll see plenty of myself and Dax in the service, and many other drivers as well. So come in, jump in voice, and we can go around the track and tell us what you think, and we can help you with the setup. And
yep, absolutely. So the Super 2s will be at Taupo in New Zealand for Monday's race, and Cosmo hasn't done any practice yet.
I don't even have a setup for that track as well.
That's right.
So it's beginner's luck.
It is.
Back to the drawing board.
It is.
As you go 2 steps forward, you go 3 steps back when you go to a new track, Dax. Isn't that right?
I reckon you'll have the ideal line on just to try and figure out how to keep the car on the track.
Well, that's right. Unless you want to get some tips from Gary going sideways through, that's another option. But yeah, it's going to be another challenge.
And there's Josh Bob. Look at that. Josh Bob's behind Gary. And that's Gary into a wall again. There's Josh Bob going past.
Yeah, no, Josh Bob is another driver that comes in and he's pretty good, actually. He's in the 86s. He does well in the 86s, I've seen. Also does well in the other series, the ones that he enters.
He does have a go. He has a go. He didn't do exceptionally well in the Brute Utes this week. He was up the back for most of it, or in the pits. I don't know what was going on. So I never got to chat to him. But another one that if you don't come in and practice with the cars that you've got to drive, it's hard to set the car up, and then you have problems with oversteer, understeer, what have you, because you're not used to it, because you haven't done the practice in it. I think that was what Josh Bob's problem was in this round. He just jumped in the car and didn't really have it set up for this track.
Yeah, it is important to get your laps in, to get your practice in. Minimum, I would say, about 75 laps plus, Dax.
The Super 2 mods are available on Content Manager, and the Super 2s are currently on Country Thunder Racing 1 in Content Manager. We're just about an hour into the stream now, and this one is winding down now. That's Josh Bob on track with the Mango Credit Maloo. And as I said, we have Jason Douglas leading this one in one of those ones, but not that one. Cooper Shipley is in second place, and Ross Macaroni is in third.
There's Gary gone into the grass, missing the apex altogether.
A little bit of lawn mowing was needed around the edge of the track, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
And that is the end of this race. Yeah, so I think you should drive with them. I do drive with them. Cosmo does drive with us as well. He just wasn't in this round because he wasn't available. But I am driving in all three of the races in tonight's broadcast.
Gary's just putting his signature on all the walls.
All the walls, yes.
After the race, so there he goes again.
And he's hit the wall again. There you go. And that's where he just about leaves it. We're about to switch to the next one. So that is the Brute Utes. And it was, the way I did say, Jason Douglas took line honours in first place. Cooper Shipley came in for second, and Ross Macaroni came in for third. This is race one of our Super 2 series. We changed it up from the Gen 2 to the Super 2 because we now have the Gen 3 cars. So these are the ZB Commodores, the Ford Mustang S550, and the Nissan Altima. We have two Nissan Altimas on the track and a number of Mustangs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Mustangs that I can see right there. A couple of Commodores there as well. Quite a good lineup here. Jason Douglas is second there. Benny Alfin, I believe his name is, pole position. Jason Douglas, Joel Vitale in third. Bill Cosmo in fourth, and along we go. And this was the start of race one. Whack. All right, there I go off onto the stand. Mad Macca was taken out. Somebody else was taken out. I can't remember who it was. His name is in capital letters, and I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on, and I am an old man.
That looks better on you, Dax, now.
I still can't read it. Zafronte or something like that. But yeah, he was taken out early on in the piece. Mad Macca was taken out early on in the piece. And so that left Benny Asplin, that's his name, Benny Asplin, up the front, leading the race in the Will Brown WD-40 ZB Commodore. Followed closely by Joel Vitale. And then Bill Cosmo. In third place.
Yeah, the two guys in front were pretty quick, actually.
How did you manage third place here?
I believe Sean North made a small mistake.
Right.
And I had to have all four tyres on the road, so I had more grip than him, so I was able to pass him with speed. So, yeah, that got me into that spot.
Jason Douglas didn't have a very good start in this race. I can hear one of the cars are in the pits already. It's probably me because I went out on the first corner, which is a shocker. There are three races tonight on this stream, not live.
This is a replay.
That's why it says replay up on the top right hand corner. So looks like Jason Douglas didn't take long to get past you. So he's now in third position.
Yeah, I did try to hold him off as much as I can to my ability, but obviously he was very quick, so I had to release him. So and just tag closely behind as best as I could.
Mm-hmm. He is a very, very quick driver. I was really impressed. We did some laps together, and he knows how to set up a car. He's only young. He knows how to set up a car. How can I join the races tonight? There are no races tonight. This is a replay of what took place on Monday and Wednesday. I don't have any races tonight. Oh, that's right. There was another blue Commodore that at the start of the race went into pit lane and stayed there. And that was the end of it. I was like, I don't know what happened.
Technical issues, maybe, Dex?
I would say that possibly or family thing came up and he had to go, but he was on the starting grid and then he went straight to the pits and never came out into the race.
It's a pity when that happens, really, when something important comes in and you have to leave.
It is. But I mean, this is a game. There is real life, so we like to be competitive on track, but we're not real race car drivers. You haven't seen any Red Bull livery. Actually, funny that you mentioned that. There is no Red Bull livery in this round. Nobody chose a Red Bull livery. So there you go. What's up with that? Shane Van Gisbergen was not represented.
Neither Brock Feedy was represented.
Well, we don't really care about Brock.
But a lot of drivers choose their own liveries these days, guys, and some people like to drive with the actual livery, and there's a lot of people that like to make their own skins.
Yes, with the Gen 3s, we decided against people having their own skins just for this first season. We just wanted them to run the way that they should look, we are going to introduce custom skins for the Indigenous rounds at Hidden Valley and at Townsville, and then we'll bring them back for the Enduro rounds at Sandown. The last year at Sandown. Sad news for you, Bill.
Yes, one of my iconic tracks, as I'm a Melburnian, and Albert Park and Sandown are very sentimental to me, so I know the tracks very, very well. And I have to do very, very well as well.
Well,
so everyone likes to be super racy in their track that's in their state as well, so you have to represent.
Well, that's funny that you should say that. Like, my track would have to be Sydney Motorsport Park because that's where I'm from. But
correct.
But there's the old Amaroo. There's the old Oran Park. Oran Park was a good track, mate.
Was a good track too as well. Yes, yes.
Amaroo was a good track. That was you didn't like that track, but I thought that track was really good. We did that in the 1992s.
I had to go 15 metres up in the air, Dax. You told me.
That's right. Yeah, over the fence and out into the crowd.
So it was an underpass for you.
Yeah, that was a great track. But other tracks that were iconic for New South Wales was Homebush Bay, when they did the V8s on Homebush Bay. They only did it for a few years. It was gone pretty quick. But that was quite a tight, hard track. Lots of concrete.
Concrete barriers on each side.
Yeah, that was an interesting track to say the least. And but nowadays, because I live in Perth now, my home track's Barbagallo.
Well, that's right, Dax. That's right. And, you have to do quite well there.
Yeah, well, I have yet to see you post a time at Barbagallo, so still waiting. But I'm on a 57.7, mate. So I'll just let you know that.
That's well informative, Dax. I will be getting onto the track early this morning or tomorrow, and I will be doing my best there to post a time competitive to yours.
It's not really it's a quick track, but it's not an easy track. It's quite technical as far as gearing and getting the car in the right position for the best speed out of a corner. It's that part of it is very technical.
You got to choose your lines.
Absolutely. And that's
this iconic livery.
Shine
Northern Transport, is it?
Yes, Northern Transport. That's the one. Yep. Yes, actually Sean North is a racer in real life. He does sprint car racing in real life, and they are his sponsors for his sprint car racing. So it's good to have real life races on our tracks as well.
Yeah, it's a great driver, Mr. Sean North. I think he won his opening round in his sprint race. So, all well done there, mate. Congratulations.
He's going to miss this weekend's sprint round.
Yeah, he has raced this weekend. Yeah,
his brother's going to step into the car for him. But he's off to hospital. So I wish him all the best of luck, and hope he's back on the track real soon.
Speedy recovery, mate. Speedy recovery.
So this is race 1 of the Super 2s. We do have 2 races for this series tonight, and at this present point in time, it's looking like Benny A has the clear advantage over everybody. It looks like we have. Is that Sean North in front of me there? Yeah, yep, that's it. Sean, is that Sean North? Yep, that's Mr. North in front of me there. Yep. Benny Asplin has a clear and decisive lead here. But something very strange happens in this opening round.
Yeah, pitch strategies play a big role. Having to load your pit stop setting, very, very important to do, because if you don't, you lose at least 45 seconds.
This track's really weird because in the F1 category, they actually say that this pit straight on Albert Park is the shortest that they have. But in the V8s, it's the longest we have, because we have to go through the pits of the F2s and the F3s and the F1 garages. It's very difficult. So where we do our pit stops would be where the F2 cars are, and then we've got to roll out past the F1 garages before we can get. So it's actually a very slow pit stop for us.
Yeah, so it's very important to do a fast lap, always to keep your pace up, and trying to undercut someone while they're going into the pits by gaining a second or two if you can, to make it interesting on the rejoin. So, which I've had a couple of interesting rejoins by jumping a driver position. Very, very close. We had one at Bathurst actually, round one, I think, Dax.
Yep.
It's very important when someone's going into the pit stop, if they're ahead of you, to put your head down and just concentrate.
Well, you won race one at Bathurst, so that in this series you won race one at Bathurst.
Geez, that's a long time ago, Dax. I don't even remember that.
Do you know that was only 2 weeks ago?
It's been a long time since then.
Oh, that's funny. That's a long time ago, mate.
Yeah, you're always trying to remember your victories, and here I am. I can't remember them, you know. So not that there's many of them, but you know, yeah. It's good fun, guys. It's all good fun. Jumping on, doing your practice, joining your own voice. We're a fun bunch of guys, and we share a good time, and some good, clean and fun and exciting racing.
So this is where it got interesting. All right, we have Benny in first position, but suddenly you're in second position.
I think there was a pit stop incident, or maybe car 2 had left the track.
Something really went weird here, because I'm in third position. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? You know, I believe one had a pitch. One had damage, and they asked me if they could teleport. We don't do teleporting. If you can limp your car back to the pits and get it repaired, then you can come back out on track. But if you teleport back to the pits, then your race is done. And so there was that incident. That was Joel Vitale, who was in third place before that incident occurred. But something went wrong with his car, and he asked to teleport back, and I said, can't be done. So that was his race done. Something also happened with Mr. Jason Douglas. Not sure what happened there, but he was put back out of the race, and which put Benny's been in front all the way along from start to finish, but it put it put Cosmo into second place and me into third place and Sean North into fourth place.
So it was a good result. Ross has always said, always be fast, be consistent. Be consistent and gain as many points as you can per round.
I don't believe fast is all important. Yes, consistent is key. All right, if you can keep consistent lap times, being fast at certain points, like pit strategy is very, very, very important, as you say. So, like in this race, I pitted early, and then I pushed on as hard as I could to try and overtake people in their pits, right? That was my strategy, all right? So I get where pit stop strategy plays a big part in it as well. But speed, you don't have to be the fastest guy on track to win a race. You just have to. Correct. You have to be consistent.
Consistency is key.
Yep.
At any given time, and at every walk of life as well, you have to be consistent in life, especially on the racetrack.
Absolutely. There's Bill. We're just looking at Bill from inside the car right now. His Ford Mustang Skyline Helix car.
Whichever way you want to call it, yes, thanks.
It is a nice looking skin. I am proud of that one.
That's good work. As soon as I saw it, you go surprised. Look at your image, and she was a beauty.
Yep. You've got another one coming for the Gen 3s as well. You've got the...
Yes, a few I haven't used actually, so I'll be glad to roll them out of the garage and onto the track.
In their given rounds? Well, hopefully the Brute Utes... see, they're not back on until the 17th of April, which is after the kids go back to school. So that's in a couple of weeks' time.
Correct.
So again, you'll be back at work by then, and you're always working, but you might not make it to the track again. I just don't know.
I might have to start a few hours earlier, Dax. That's what I might do. I'll have to program myself.
Yeah, that sounds good. Make sure you get home in time to get into the races.
I shall do that.
Yeah. So this race has almost wrapped up, and the positions stay pretty much as they are now. You've got Benny way up like 25 seconds ahead of Bill, and then Bill's like 30, 40 seconds ahead of me. So it was like, it doesn't get much different to that. I think we may get a little closer, a little further apart, or something like that. And Sean North is currently trying to fight with me. He's not far off, but the Ultimas actually did well. This was my first outing in an Ultima, and you could tell how...
You had good handling, the car, good setup, the attacks on the Ultima?
Yeah, it came out real well. It did. I was very impressed with the state of the Ultima.
Excellent.
And the only reason I changed cars is because we went to Super 2 and nobody had an Ultima. Everybody had Mustangs or Commodores. So I took one for the team, basically, not knowing what the car was going to be like. And it's on par. It's on par with with the Mustangs and the Commodores.
So we have a bit of variety. We have all the car manufacturers on the grid.
Yep. And so that's why I took it. My livery I had to redo really quickly onto an Ultima, so I had to redo the Skyline livery for the Ultima because I had that on my Mustang. And so I had to redo the livery, and I added Country Thunder to it to make it look a little bit different. Oh, Sean North taking it wide.
Actually, he was doing quite well apart from the start. There wasn't too much runoffs for Sean. He had pretty much a consistent race there.
Yeah, he did well, and
he's super racy, Mr. North. As I've got to know him over the last 12 months, has been fantastic and a great
I think
driver on the track, actually.
I think sometimes he gets into his head, like
have a nice battle with him. Always have a nice battle with him.
And there you go. That is the end of this round there. That's my car on the track. And it was taken out by Benny Asplin. Took out first place. Bill Cosmo took out second place. And Dax Daniel took out third place.
That's right.
And now it's race 1 of the Gen 3 Supercars. All right, fantastic. Up in the front, Jason Douglas has pole position. With Benny Asplin taking the Coca-Cola Camaro in second place. Alex Fazzari in the Castrol 55 is in third, and I'm in fourth. How the hell that happened, I don't know.
Well, you're in the right spot at the right time.
And we've got Johnny Bro up in the R&J Batteries one, and we've got Mr. Richard King.
Super racy into the first couple of turns of the first lap.
Fazzari did amazing. Look at this. Into this corner, bang, he's in first place. Look at that. He kept his cool. This guy's speedy. Fazzari kept his cool. He was in all the right spots, and he jumps into the race lead. It's just amazing. So Jason Douglas had to pull in behind, give him a bit of a love tap, and away they go. Which I'm in third place here, and because of this jostle that they had, and it's interesting to see that what happens on a real track can also happen in this game. So because they're jostling with each other, I was able to get up on the back of them.
I can see that, thanks. I didn't see this race, so I'm watching it now for the first time. And as they're battling up the front, it just sort of brought you back into the phase of it. So
yeah,
they're doing quite well.
Yeah, I was keeping up with them, and actually, as I said, their jostling up front allowed me to actually get right into it. I was right in the mix. Unfortunately, I made an error because I was right in the mix, and that put me back a little bit, but we pressed on. It's not a game, it's a simulation. Oh wait, that's iRacing. Never Naps. So look at that. I mean, look at that. They're right on. We're three Mustangs right on top of each other.
You couldn't have it closer.
Oh, we can have it closer. Wait for it. It's coming.
I'm getting excited there, Dax, now.
Douglas was strong out of that corner. Really strong. He had more pace on Fazzari in that corner.
Fazzari's holding lines.
And he's holding his line. And this was an interesting part of the race. He held his line. He ended up behind, but then he got ahead again. All right, he got the speed out of that corner to put the nose in front. Now what happens here is shocking. They take it wide. He clips him. I clip him. I send him around. So Fazari's still in the lead. He gets a bit of a bump, and then I had nowhere to go because of the bump, and I went and bumped Mr. Douglas, and that then slowed me out of that corner, and then Mr. Benny Asplin managed to get past me, and so did Johnny Bro. So yeah, that was pretty much it for me to start off with.
Yeah, sometimes it's very unfortunate on some tight corners as you entering, then the two cars are about 2 or 3 seconds or 4 seconds ahead, which you can have an incident like that, and it's just unfortunate that it does happen. We all try to avoid it as best as we can, but there's sometimes you have the misfortune of those type of incidents which can hurt you in the race. But,
absolutely. Mr. Richard King, again, not really switched onto the car. Again, just jumped in the car, no real setup, and just had a go. And great for having a go. Love that anybody that has these cars are able to come in and have a go. And it's great to have more and more. We'd love to see all 25 of the cars on track. We would love to see that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fantastic. But without the preparation and just doing laps for the first time in a race without real preparation, that's what makes it hard.
You're behind the 8 ball automatically,
Yeah.
and immediately you're behind the 8 ball. Yeah, you need to do your 50 to 100, 150 laps, get used to it, adjust your driving style towards it, and you should be in the mix with a position of a fight on the track. There's someone that's I think hit the wall there, Dex.
Yeah, that was Mr. Brown, John Brown, in the R&J Batteries Camaro, just tapping the wall into that corner. Oh, there's me. Look at that.
And then we've got the Shell V Power Mustang.
Yep. And I'm still in third position. I've done all right to keep that third, but Benny Asplin has jumped up on Fazari, and so Fazari's in a race again, in a dogfight again, it's only going to bring me up closer to this battle again.
Alex has done a fantastic job actually watching him for the first time in the Gen 3s.
Well, I would have to say that I feel bad for Alex in this race. Unfortunately, he did so well, and he kept these boys at bay, and he didn't block them. He didn't do anything silly. He kept his lines, and they had to find a way around him. And it was awesome to watch the replay of this race, because I've watched it several times, and he did really well. But the problem was he didn't finish the race.
Oh, is that right?
We'll get to that later in this race, but yes, he didn't finish the race.
So he had a car issue, or?
Well, he had an internet issue.
That's the point.
His ping rate shot up to over 300, and he got kicked off the server.
He's providing a lot of excitement at the minute.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. No, racing with him, he's gained a lot of momentum. Is coming up the ranks. He's as you say, fighting at the front now, and obviously, as you can see him. He's doing a fantastic job.
And there's not an ounce of blocking in that. He's keeping his own lines. He's defending using the racing line, which is absolutely brilliant. As far as a driver is concerned, I rate him highly based on what I saw him do in this race. I was just super impressed with his abilities.
Well, he's not leading this race by accident, so he's working very, very hard in there. So
again, Benny got past him, but he had to work for it. Every time Benny has got in front, he's had to work for it. All right. Under brakes, they are still side by side. There's Benny coming back up, crisscross. They are still side by side in this corner. Look at this.
Well, Alex, you're providing great entertainment, mate. There.
It's that
colour. It's that colour green. He loves green.
And look, and unfortunately, that's where it ends.
Oh, really? Unfortunate. That is so unfortunate for him.
He made an absolute balls up out of the corner. Too much power. The back end slid out of it, and that was it. He was done for. But those opening laps was just awesome to watch. If he held that corner, he was still been fighting him down the main straight.
I'm sure he would have done very, very well completing this race.
And then
there's lots to come from him. There's lots of racing throughout the year. So
yes, absolutely.
You can expect him on your bumper or up his bumper. So it'd be good, tight racing.
Absolutely. There is Jason Douglas just rounding me up there, taking that place back.
Is that fourth position, believe it?
That's now second position, and I'm in third. Alex is behind me. So it currently stands at Benny Asplin in the WD-40. The Coca-Cola Camaro is leading the charge. Jason Douglas in the Snowy River Mustang is in second. And the Shell V-Power Racing at number 11 with me behind the wheel is in third.
It's a great effort to see the Shell V-Power up the front, and we also would like to see it up the front in real life as well.
We would love to see them up the front. I'd actually like to see them actually update their liveries and do something different, because their livery has just got boring. Over the last couple of seasons, it's been exactly the same. The last of the Gen 2 seasons coming into the Gen 3s.
I believe, Dax, they got a new sponsor of National Tiles, and I did see it on one of the Facebook photos. It's on the rear quarter panel of the car.
Okay, so that's just the rear quarter panel. That's the V-Power thing. It's just...
That's the major sponsorship.
I know, but it's old. The look of the car looks old. You know, it's like you go and see all these... obviously, Erebus had problems with their sponsorship, so that car's completely changed. The Cool Drive car didn't change much, but there was something about it that was different, right?
Yeah.
The Snowy Rivers Caravans car didn't change much. Monster didn't change much. They just added Autobahn to the back quarter panel.
Yes.
But the tradie beer one, I mean, there's a new one. Team 18, the tradie beer livery.
The Red Bull's pretty much the same, you would say, thanks.
They took the red out of the livery, so the whole side of the car is now blue. So a little different. You can actually see the difference in their liveries compared to last year. They had red in the back quarter panels. Now it's all blue.
Yes.
So
right
so there's a few distinct changes. I don't think the Newlon team had any differences except for minor sponsor changes. The truck assist Camaros have changed. I don't think they're both exactly the same anymore. The ones that stood out the most was the Penrite, the change on the Penrite cars, and the new WAU sponsorship with the Truck Assist Mustang.
I see. Yeah, the Shelby powered Mustang's been pretty much the same delivery for the past 7 to 8, 9 years, I believe, there, Dex. Is that right?
Very, very close. So basically, from the FG onwards, it's looked the same.
2016, that would be. So
yeah. FG to so 8 years. Yeah, absolutely. So
hopefully there might be a livery change in the next season.
Ever since they went from Helix to V-Power, that was it. I mean, with Helix, they changed it up. With Shell being their sponsor, they used to change it up. So there was Helix, there was Shell motor oils, there was different aspects of Shell, right? But since V-Power's, the cars have all looked the same. FG, FGX, Gen 2.
And now the Gen 3.
And Gen 3, yeah.
Look, from my perspective, I love it, and it's always a great colour seeing red coming across.
So there's been slight changes to the colour scheme this year. The back end where you see that yellow across the
bumper trimming, was it the aero trimming on the rear or something?
I'm trying to think what they call it. Anyway, that is not there anymore. That's all black, and then it's red across the back of the car, not white across the back of the car. So there was a slight change, but you wouldn't notice it if you were looking at the car from the front. You'd be like, same car.
Oh, as soon as you see the 3.3s on the bumper,
yep.
You go, that's exactly the same. The big shell sticker on the bonnet, and
yep.
The Pertec sign on the front.
Yep.
Window.
Pertec across the window. Yep. 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 Yep.
They moved the driver names from the driver's side to the passenger side. Obviously, in these cars, the windshield's a little bit smaller.
Well, there was a couple of reasons for that. One was because of the viewing of the driver with their name right across the front of their face. They didn't have great vision on the road, so they moved it across, and then they moved it across fully to the left-hand side with the number on the left-hand side. But then they went and put a silly thing in their LED display that tells what position they are in the race, right? And they put that right in the left-hand corner. So now they have that LED display in the left-hand corner, the name beside that LED display, and the number of the car is now on the right-hand side of the wiper.
Oh, yes. As you can see it, yes, it is.
In these, they aren't. We haven't done it that way. We've put it the old way because we don't have the LED thing in the car. That's in GT4 cars, but we didn't put them in these. We probably should, but
aren't they on the side of the car, the LED light?
We got the orange LED light, and that's only that only comes on if you've done your pit stop, or there's supposed to be a green one as well. So if it's a driver swap, so one driver is green, one driver's orange, so then you know which driver's in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got that one in the car, but we've only got the orange showing. But the LED thing that's right up in the top left-hand corner of the windscreen actually shows what position they are on the road, and then their name goes beside that, and where that number is right there now, it's no longer there. It's on the right hand side of the wiper at the front. So very hard for them to set up, because the viewing of inside these cars, there's a lot less viewable area because of how low it sits.
Yeah, you would like to see as much as you can, actually. Bonnet cam view there from Dax Daniels' car.
Alex Fazzari still on the road. Currently sitting somewhere in third position, I think. He has got ahead of me. And Jason Douglas fighting Benny Asplin.
This for first spot, Dax?
This is for first, yes. Benny Asplin is in first place right now. And Jason Douglas, again, the two of them really worked well. They held their lines. They weren't blocking. If you could find a gap, you tried to take it. They kept showing. He's got his lights on right now. Like, they're right up. Yeah, there's pure racing here.
That's a good battle there.
As they come into this corner here, you'll see Jason flip out to show him he's there, right? Come back into the racing line, right? All those little intimidation tactics. He got a bit loose out of that corner there, but then got right back into it here. So Benny now gone into the pits. That worked well for Mr. Douglas, because now Mr. Douglas is in first.
Well, this is the most important part now, to put your head down and start concentrating, get some nice clean and fast laps to obviously he needs to pit, Dax. Is that right? Mr. Douglas, has he had his pit stop?
Naps, I want to tell you, wait until after this race, you might see some deep purple. It's a surprise coming up at the end of this race. We're going to be showing off some of the cars of our history of motorsport. But the first one is not part of our history of motorsport. So I'll leave that where it is. Yeah, it was so important to get, as you were saying, good, clean air, get the hammer down, and get that distance between second place, so that he had control of the race.
So Mr. Douglas did come in for his pit stop afterwards, or he already had pitted?
He's already done it. He's already done it because there was that kerfuffle at the beginning where I turned him around. So he went and got it done early, and then started chasing the field down.
And that's another new driver, John Brown. First race.
Johnny Brown's second race in the Gen 3. He was at Bathurst. So he really loves these cars. First time he's been in a league. First time he's actually been in a league. So doing really well. He actually managed to place second in the second race at Bathurst. So he did very, very well.
Oh, well done there, John Brown.
Yeah, good on you, Johnny bro. Choices, brother. if he's watching. If he's not, well, you're missing out, buddy. You're missing out. Oh. And we are getting closer to the 2-hour mark of this stream. How you feeling? You getting tired yet, mate?
I can't believe I've lasted 2 hours already.
1 hour 47 minutes right now. I know what you mean, buddy. I know what you mean.
I'm holding on, Dax. I'm holding on.
So Mr. Naps has just let us know that the pirating has begun. Ah, yes. I can't get into that game. I'm a driver, so, when I stream, I either stream me doing this racing stuff or me driving trucks. That's what I do. Some people are pirates and fighters, and our Indian friend left the server already just after I gave him his permission to be in the server. Well, there you go. So we would like to, obviously we would love to be able to have a broadcast team. We have a safety car. We'd like to have the safety car on track. If there's incidences, there's a whole heap of stuff we'd like to do, but it takes people. It takes a lot of organisation to get that stuff to happen in a way that is worth it for the brand. We need top quality broadcasting, the event live while it's happening, and that does take a bit to organise. So that's why we currently replay the events, because otherwise there'd just be an announcer bot telling you what's going on from a shitty computer behind me.
As you can see, we do our best to bring things to the screen and watch all the drivers go around and their fighting positions and who's going to win the race, Dax.
Who's going to win the race? Well,
it was very nice to watch the stream back, and especially if you're in a race that you've participated in, and to sit back and watch the replay with a little bit of commentary. Everyone would love that.
Like, if I get to a point where I'm not enjoying the racing, I would probably do the commentary. I'd still run CTR, and I'd probably do the commentary, and I'd just run the safety car if need be. That's the only time I'd go out on the track, But
well, you got the voice for it, Dax, on my end, so you've ticked that box.
But I'm a racer as well, so at this point, I can't do both. You can't be sitting there behind the wheel going, "Oh, and Alex Fazzari's got it moving on."
Exactly.
Get Johnny to do commentary. Now that would be very interesting, to say the least. Get Johnny from BCRC Modding or BCRC Gaming, or whichever one he wants to call himself. And that would be full of opinion. It reminds me of... It would sound like Stan Zemanek doing commentary for V8 Supercars.
Stan Zemanek, that's an old name you just mentioned there, Lex. We had him on 3AW, actually.
You did have him on 3AW. I used to listen to him on 3AW. Mr. Opinionated.
He was.
He would add some colour to the cast, I bet. Yes.
Oh, he did.
Yes. Yes, old Stan Zemanek was opinionated. Darren Hinch was opinionated.
Very.
Yes, very. So another one.
Steve Price was very, very, very opinionated.
Alan Jones.
Yes.
Alan Jones. John Laws back in the day, back in his younger days, was very opinionated. And another one that was very opinionated was Ray Warren.
I could not recall him. I would not remember him.
Ray Warren does all the NRL stuff, the rugby league stuff, or used to do all the rugby league commentating.
Well, I'm not a big fan of. I am a fan of all sports, but being a Melbourne.
You're an AFL boy, and who's your team for AFL?
My AFL team is Richmond Tigers. It's had a pretty good last 5 or 6 years. So we won 3 premierships. So I had to wait 38 years for that. So
greatest team ever, Murray Walker and James Hunt. But there you go, Murray Walker. Murray Walker was a legend. I agree.
Yeah, Murray Walker's the iconic commentator for voice of Formula One.
Formula One, that's right. That's right.
But his biggest love was the motorbikes because his father was racing motorbikes.
Yeah.
He tried to follow him in his footsteps, but he wasn't doing too well. So I believe, just reading up on it, there was an incident. There wasn't a broadcaster available for one of the events, and they asked him to do it, or his father got him to do it, and he done quite a good job, and was the start of that iconic Murray Walker voice in Formula One.
There you go. Yes, on the Isle of Man. There you go.
Correct. Yes. There's a nice segment of Murray Walker with commentating on a game of billiards, of snooker.
That would
YouTube strip. It is absolutely laughable. It's goes for about just under 2 minutes, but it is a great piece of listening to hear his voice.
I'll have to look that up. So this has been some fun. Still yet to come, race 2 of the Super 2s and race 2 of the Gen 3 Supercars. Plus a little something before those 2 races kick off.
I won't spill the beans there for you, Dax, or that first lap of that something purple.
The old purple. I did say there might be some deep purple in it. That was the. Oh, look at that! Benny makes a big mistake.
Fighting who's going to go into that first right-hander.
Yep, that was it was a tap, but they both didn't.
They redressed.
They both didn't know who was at fault, so they were both slow to start off again. This race went all the way to the line. And that was the most exciting thing about the whole race. Jason Douglas and Benny Asplin took it.
Two very good drivers.
Yes.
Is that you, Dax, in third spot?
Correct, my friend. Correct. Third spot.
And John Brown would be in fourth spot, I believe.
And Johnny Bro from New Zealand is in fourth spot, yes. What a exciting race this first one was. Now, however, you would have noticed that Alex Fazzari he was in third place, but he had an internet issue. His internet spiked, and that was the end of his race.
I would have loved to see him after a 20-minute race. Was this, Dax?
This was a 30-minute race.
30-minute race.
All right, here we go. Let's go with the deep purple. There we go. Look at that beauty. This is a prototype car that was never manufactured by Holden. It is called the Holden Effigy. What a beautiful piece of equipment. They built this prototype and they were thinking about bringing it into production to bring that classic look back. So they modelled it off the FJ Holden, and it had all the modern trimmings inside, and it had the old heritage looking stuff on the outside, the FJ looking. So it was called the Effigy. It went to a whole heap of motor shows, and it never... Nice T, yes, there you go, the Metallica. And I love this, I love that car, yes. This car is absolutely beautiful. Now, when I found it, it wasn't so beautiful. So we sent it over to Johnny at BCRC Mods to update it a little bit, make it sound a little bit better, make it sound a little bit more like a car of this standard should be. And this is what it came out like. Absolutely a beautiful specimen of a vehicle. And there's only one made, and there's still only one in existence, and one person has that car.
Is that Utes? Is that Utes?
I wish it was. if it was, it would be hidden. And this is possibly the only Holden that I would actually have in my driveway.
One of a kind.
Absolutely one of a kind. And yes, so I would have this in my driveway. Now, I do believe that this thing, because it was a prototype, actually had no windows on the sides. So,
is that right?
So there was no windows on the passenger side or the driver's side.
You can see that, yes.
And here we go with Mr. Alan Moffat's 1973 XA Coupe. All right, that is the number 9 of Alan Moffat, and this was his 1973 car. Such a beautiful piece of history here.
Yeah, brilliant motor car, that.
And the Falcons had to deal with not just the Monaros, like the HG Monaro, moving into the HQ and the HZ. They also had to deal with Tiranas.
Yeah, the Tirana was another fast car driven by Peter Brock.
And that'll be the next car up. You'll see that in a minute.
But Alan Moffat did, was he Canadian born?
Canadian born, yes. Poor man is now suffering dementia and lives in a nursing home in Melbourne. So apparently I was reading that he is surrounded by motorsport memorabilia from throughout his life. So that keeps the memories alive, but he's certainly not quite all there anymore and doesn't remember a lot of things, which is a real shame.
I was a great Ford lover, big Ford lover. Loved racing those iconic cars.
He actually raced Mustangs before he raced the big Falcons.
Yeah, didn't he have the number 9 Coca-Cola car?
He did, the number 9 Coca-Cola Mustang. Yep, absolutely. Which is really interesting that Erebus managed to get the number 9, and it was a Coca-Cola car.
But it wasn't a Ford.
It wasn't a Ford. That's what made it interesting.
Yes, it did.
And there's the Tirana you were just talking about, with the classic 05 on the side.
That did win Bathurst.
It did win Bathurst. Now the thing about the Tirana was, it was smaller than the big Falcon, so it could brake later, accelerate better out of corners. So it actually had better cornering speed. It didn't have great speed on the straights. The big muscle powered, XA Falcon could blow that thing away down a straight. But into corners and outer corners, this thing was historic. And it was pretty much like the BMW back in the ATCC days with the BMW. Tony Longhurst drove a BMW, and that thing just took corners better than anything else.
Yes, Jim Richards with the iconic black
JPS ones, yes. Yep.
That was one of his finest cars there.
Absolutely.
Then joining the Godzilla many years later.
Godzilla, yeah. Oh, that's coming up shortly. Just wait for that one. So we thought we'd put this on just as a little bit of a special event to make it. There you go. Sir Knapp says a little known fact. Johnny from BCRC Mods made him a purple XA, and he has the number 9 on it. There you go. There you go. That's absolutely exciting. A lot of people say this guy was king of the mountain. Whether you rate him as a driver or not, he was good. This guy was just as good. And here's your livery, buddy. Talk us through this.
The true blue car of the great Dick Johnson, Queensland. Very, very iconic car there, you see, ladies and gentlemen, and just showing us a lap through Great Albert Park. And this car actually, this one wasn't hit by the Rock, was it, Dax? If my memory serves me correct.
This one wasn't the Rock. I think the green one was.
No, it was the blue one.
Oh, it was one of the blue ones. Okay.
1980. Yeah, could have been this one here, I would believe.
Oh, yes, probably is this one, actually, yes. 1980. Yeah. Yes, so True Blue XD. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it was actually coming first by a long way. The big 351 Cleveland.
Yep.
Powering through. A very iconic car, as many other cars of his did follow the same path.
Mm. Which one was was that the one that went into a tree?
The green stuff went into the tree.
That was the XE that went into the tree. That's right.
XE, yeah.
Yep. So this one was a Rock, and the other one, and the XE. That's what I was getting mixed up with. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, the two iconic drivers you could say that loved Ford, that wore the Ford badge well, was Alan Moffat and Dick Johnson, that carried it through. So if you're a Ford fan, you're a Dick Johnson fan, and if you're a Holden fan, you were a Peter Brock fan. Pretty much. I mean, yeah, I've the number 17's an iconic number, and you wear it proudly on any car you drive. Dick Johnson had a little mechanic shop in South Brisbane, and that turned into a motor racing career that has spanned the course of his life, and still going strong. And again, we got the 05 again, as you said. It's either Dick Johnson or Peter Brock. This is the VK Commodore of Peter Brock with the 05 Marlboro livery. That Marlboro livery was the very iconic livery for the Holden fans. The HDD on the quarter panel, which everyone loved to have one. Holden dealer team, that's right. That's before the silly Walkinshaw era. The Walkinshaw. They did have a little sticker on the back of it. Sorry, Dax, they did have a little sticker on the back of it saying, "I just want one." Yep. I remember. Yep, that's right. Not sure if it's on this particular car, but yes, I do remember that. So this was just before the Walkinshaw era. The Walkinshaw era, they made the VL Commodore look like a mess. And Peter Brock didn't like it. So Peter Brock actually left Holden during the VL period. And he actually drove a Sierra.
and he drove a Rover, and he even drove and he even drove a Volvo before going.
And a BMW, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. Before going back to Holden, so yes, he had his problem with Holden, and I think it was more of a problem with Walkinshaw.
And that famous polarizer.
Yeah, oh, that famous thing, yes, that silly thing that he said, give you, yeah. Oh no, can't believe we're talking about that. He left his wife and got a new age woman and developed some gadget that was supposed to make your car better, faster.
Well, there's a movie based on him, actually. It's on YouTube. It's a two-part series, or classified as a movie. It's a good watch. Back in those days, they used to drive their race cars from home to the actual great race.
Yep, that's right.
Probably wouldn't happen these days, Dax, wouldn't it?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Could you imagine trying to drive a Gen 3 across the Nullarbor to Perth? It'd fall apart before it hit Melbourne.
100%. I agree with you there. Don't know if those tyres would last the distance.
So this is the ATCC area where we got rid of the Fords and the Holdens, and we went with, even though Holden was still in existence, they had the VN and the VL in the 1992 series, and Falcon still had an EB, but they
came in 92. Yeah,
they did. They came in 92, and they were the precursor for the first Supercars series. So the EB and the VL Commodore were the first Supercars. All right. But this was the 1992 series where we sort of got past you're either a Lion supporter or you're the Blue Oval supporter, and we ended up with this Ford Cosworth Sierra, which is a European-made vehicle, extremely fast, and it was Dick Johnson that brought them to the country. Believe it or not, Dick Johnson was the first one to bring the Cosworth Sierra into this race. All right?
Indeed he was, yes.
And his was so fast that they had to give it less power to make it competitive with the rest of the field.
Yeah, you always wanted to blow the field away.
That's
like
right.
It did in 1980. Actually, it was actually the fastest XD on the mountain.
It was.
That famous long Conrod straight.
So this one was the Caltex Cosworth Sierra of Colin Bond.
Correct. Yes.
And then, of course, Mark Scaife, Jim Richards drove this one to success in Bathurst, but it was a rain-soaked event at the end of the race, towards the end of the race, and they had an accident, and the race was red flagged due to the accident coming off the mountain onto Conrod Straight. They had an accident right there on the top of Conrod Straight, and they red flagged the event, and the controllers of the race took the win back to the lap before. So whoever crossed the line the lap before the red flag won the race. And so it was this car that crossed the line first, even though they were caught up in the accident the very next lap. They were winning the race the lap before. So they got booed. Mark Scaife and Jim Richards got booed while they were getting their trophies. Booed big time. And so Jim Richards, its classic line, it will never go away, and it'll always be remembered. Jim Richards was so pissed off with the crowd, he turned around and said, "You're all a pack of bastards."
Yes, Yes, he did that. I was watching. I actually was watching that race, and if they didn't call that 2 laps prior, it would have been the Ford Sierra of Dick Johnson and John Bower would have won that race,
Correct. If it was
which we're all hoped for. And
if
I think Dax, I think he said arseholes. You're a pack of arseholes.
yes.
That's arseholes. It's a long time ago, but it's one of those two that means the same. It's no difference today.
Yes.
You can watch it on YouTube and have a bit of a laugh yourself.
Absolutely. It is there. It's fantastic. But that is the winning car from 1992's Bathurst. Mark Scaife, Jim Richards, and you're all a pack of arseholes. Coming back into supercars, we went back to a Ford Holden thingo. This is the AU of the mighty Glenn Seaton. He was a great driver, a great person, and I don't think he got what he deserved. Do you?
No, very good competitor, very strong competitor, fantastic racer. Was always aiming to win Bathurst, and he always had a mechanical failure. Poor old Seaton.
Yeah, never got to win the great race. But neither did Mark Larkham. Mark Larkham never got to win the great race.
Became a great commentator, didn't he?
And Brad Jones never got to be a Bathurst winner either, I don't think.
I can't remember that one, Dax. They would have come close. I know he won races. I know he did win races, but I don't know if he won the great race.
I think.
Tell us to be great.
I think in this year when they had the AUs, this was the iconic moment. Was in Adelaide, I believe it was, where the Aussie email AU Falcon of Brad Jones came through that thing, hit the wall, ended up on its roof. Remember that?
Yes.
That was the iconic moment for Brad Jones in that Ford. What really gets to me now is that Brad Jones was racing Fords back then, and now he's the owner of 4 Holdens.
Well, there you go. How times change, Dax, and although he came from the Diet Coke, was it the BMW and the Audi?
Yep.
I can't remember what the category was called back then. But he won races and championships in that, and appeared in many great races, Bathurst races as well.
And this here on track now is the VT Commodore of one Mark Scaife. We talked about him just before. The now commentator for the Supercars with Neil Crompton and Jess Yates. And Mark Larkham in the pits. Sometimes with Garth Tander and occasionally with Craig Lowndes.
Yes.
Mark Scaife was the number 2 driver for this in this series. Who was the number 1 driver?
He was the number 1 driver, but I think I don't think he won the championship the year before.
No, that's right. So who was the number 1 car?
I think he was the number 1 car. I cannot remember his teammate actually.
Craig Lowndes. Craig Lowndes was the number 1 car.
Craig Lowndes
in the VT Commodore, yes. Craig Lowndes' biggest thing in the VT Commodore was a big accident. I can't remember which track it was, but it was an amazing accident in the VT Commodore. He went right over a bloody guardrail. I'd have to think back to think what track it was, but wow, that was a huge accident too. That was very early on in his career, and Lowndesy was the second driver for the HSV Holden dealer team at that time, and of course Brocky was already out of it by then. And there you go, that's that one. And of course, we can't go anywhere without saying something about Marcus Ambrose.
Well, the Tasmanian Marcus Ambrose.
Stone Brothers Racing, legends, absolute legends. And this is the BA Falcon, the winning BA Falcon. Hence the reason it had number 1 on it. Marcus Ambrose spent a couple of years with Stone Brothers Racing and then headed off to the US for, I think, NASCAR. And when he came back, he ended up... he was given a position with DJR, but after one or two races, felt like he couldn't compete in the new style supercars, so he gave his seat up to somebody else, and he still competed in the endurance rounds.
There you have it. Yeah, I could not remember that little era there, Dex.
It was a very weird era. He was driving the Xbox FGX.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep. And he was only in it for 1 or 2 rounds, and then decided he wasn't competitive enough because of the changes of modern technology that had come through supercars. So he backed out of the driver position and stayed on board for the enduro rounds. That was it.
It was a short stint back. Yeah, he couldn't get the grips of the car, actually.
That's right. Very different to what he remembers with the BA. So coming back out of it, just couldn't do it. Couldn't get it done. The FGX, I think it was. Or was it just the FG? I can't remember. Oh, and here's our Country Thunder safety car, rounding this all up before we jump into race 2 of the Super 2s. This car, if you watch this thing go around the track, this car is faster than a Gen 2 or Gen 3 supercar.
Well, I don't know, Dax, what you put on it or what kind of fuel you're using, but it is mighty quick.
It is a flyer, mate. I actually saw someone take this safety car out in our next round. I don't know how they managed to get it because it's free join. I guess they just grabbed the car that was available. And this was obviously available, and they did a 1 minute 22 around Taupo in this car. I've done a 1:27.7 in Taupo in a Super 2, so this is at least 5 seconds quicker than a jet.
It looks more than 5 seconds quicker, Dax. Just watching the stream, the replay. As a safety car, you would never get it to that speed because obviously, if an accident happens, we've got to bring the track back down to 80 kilometers an hour, and this thing leads the field around at 80 kilometers an hour. But this thing can if we should do it one day, I should take this car out. You should take your favorite car out, which is your FG, and we'll see we'll see who gets around the track first, mate. Take it to Sandown. That's it. I'm sure it won't be me.
All right, we're back with the second race of the Super 2s. It is reverse grid, so Shaw North has pole position, and I have second position. Before we go any further, I just want to say that the Gen 3 competition race 1 finished with Jason Douglas in first place, Benny Asplin in second place, and Dax Daniel. I don't know that bloke, but anyway, Dax Daniel in third place. This was a great start. Great start. Less biff and barge. Couple of taps here and there. Great start for the Country Thunder Ultima. Look at that. Look at that gap that I've already got on the field. Just got away really smoothly on the start. But, oh, look at what Sean North does there. Oh. But he did...
Yeah, that was a love tap. That was a love tap.
He did stop to redress. That was very good. So, great start to the race, but I screwed it up at that corner, and Joel Vitale got past me, and then quickly I was wrapped up by Benny Asplin, and not long after, Jason Douglas was there too. And they're all out to get me. I got Vitale back. That is, I'm back in the lead. They're all hunting me down. Look at them go.
There's three of them there chasing your Dex there. So,
yep,
actually you're doing a great job keeping them behind you.
Boom! That's what happened. I got taken out by Mr. Vitale.
Well, when that incident does take place, it's always a very difficult moment.
He did redress. There was no penalty awarded because he did redress. So that was an interesting start to the race. And again, I fought as hard as I could, but love taps happen. Boom! There you go. Return serve. And it didn't work well. It didn't work well for me.
Yeah, that's. These are the things that happen in racing, so that's why you got to keep it clean and smooth. And sometimes, should I? Shouldn't I? Just got to keep going.
I am saying that pace car that we have, if Johnny went around Sandown in his Gen 3 supercar, I would beat him in my safety car.
Oh, that's uncatchable, that safety car there, Dax.
It is by far the fastest car I have driven, apart from a Formula 1 car. They're pretty quick. But as far as a road car, bloody quick.
It would be pretty illegal for the streets.
Actually, it'd probably just have a computer chip in it that would retard the power. But I think that the ability would still be there. It's just crazy fast.
So we've got Jason Douglas in the lead here, Dex.
Jason Douglas is up front, yes, ahead of Benny Asplin. So it's amazing how well, as I said, we moved this to a Super 2 category because we had the Gen 3 supercars. So there was no use having a Gen 2 supercar series and a Gen 3 supercar series. But we wanted to keep these cars active, so we brought it down to a Super 2 category. And we had to include the Ultima. And I was so impressed because this was the first round that we used the Ultima. And I was so impressed at how equal all the cars are.
Well, that's the most important part, actually, having all the cars equal.
Yep.
And a fair race.
So when I decided we were going to put the Ultimas in, I did exactly the same thing that I did with the Commodores and the Mustangs to make sure that they were all exactly the same.
And I'm sure you've done a great job there, Dax. A lot of testing.
You know it. I'd take a Mustang out. I'd go around a track, see what time I could get. I'd go around with an Ultima, see what time I could get. Go around with the Commodore, see what time I could get. Within milliseconds of each other.
Absolutely.
So settings exactly the same. So whatever setting I had on one car, I made sure I was on the same, all the cars.
Oh, Vitali went wide there.
Yeah, Vitali went wide. He made a few mistakes. This one was a. This one had a little bit of a. I guess with any of the leagues, and I've noticed with other leagues as well, if you're doing more than one race, people tend to drop off for the second race.
Yeah, it has been something that's been happening of late. So
it
all comes down to if they got early work, early start the next day, or
yes, and because we do midweek, I was actually thinking, and we might put it to a vote soon, but my thought process is we might move our Supercar series, like the Super 2s, not all the Supercar series, but the Super 2s, the Gen 3s, and the Brute Utes, the support category. We might move them to a Saturday and call it Supercar Saturdays.
I'll put a vote out there, Dax, and see what...
Just to break it up a bit, we have some races on a Wednesday, we have some races on a Monday, but we could also change the Monday to be something other than the Super 2s, and we can put the Super 2s like a week before the Gen 3s or something like that, so we can space them all out. We might do the Super 2 World Series, where we're going to take the cars around the world on a Monday night, because that's not part of the Supercar series. And we might chuck these things, the Gen 3s and the Brute Utes, up on a Saturday instead, because I think, and again, it's hard because some people, obviously, we all have lives, and some people have families, and some people want to go out on Saturday nights, and so there's that issue. Like someone like Sean North might say, "Oh, I've got a race on Saturday night, I can't be there." So there is that issue. But how many more people can join? How many more people can we get on the track on Saturday nights and stay there consistently for the races that are on? That's the big question.
Yeah, I'm sure we can, Dax. We can give that a shot.
So I mean, I'm still thinking about it. I mean, I want to talk to a few people, maybe put a poll out there. I might put a poll out there and see if they like the Wednesdays, like the Mondays, or do we want to go to a Saturday? Because that's the one thing that I think we're missing, is because it is on Wednesday night or a Monday night, as you say, people have to get up for work the next day. So by the end of this race, it was like, by the end of next race, the next Gen 3 thing, there was only 3 or 4 cars on the track. And
yeah, it's a big commitment on any given night. It's great to see a full grid, as you said.
yes,
Sometimes there is 2 races, gives you 2 chances to participate at the front if you haven't got a good strong first race. Or do we go to one feature race of about 30 laps, 30 minutes or 35 minutes, and participate in one quali, one race, and call it a night?
well, yeah, I would probably do something so, like, we could put this together like I've done, all right, and I could have different people compare and join in on the whole thing, but we would probably just do the races on different weeks. So we might have the the Brute Utes on 1 week, and we change that so that then becomes a 2-race format for the Brute Utes. And then we have the 2-race format for the Super 2s. And we might even, depending on what round it is, we might extend to a 2 or 3 race format for the Gen 3s. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot to play with, but the problem is because we want to get more people on the track. That's what we want to do. We want to get as many people racing with CTR as possible. You know, we'd love to have full grids.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's got to be working for a majority of people. It's got to be like, if Wednesday night's not working because people have to work on Thursday morning, if Monday night's not working because people have to work on Tuesday morning, then we have to do something about it. We have to go, okay, do we go on a Saturday? We know Delta's on a Sunday. We know MSR's on a Friday, so I wouldn't touch those days. So do we bite the bullet and drive Friday, Saturday, Sunday? That's the big question.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of opinions there, Dax. Lots of opinions. Well, I'm sure we'll get to the right one.
Yeah, I might put a poll out very, very soon and see what we can do.
And just see what feeling they have for what night, or when is their best time, or duration, or do we stick, as I said, it's nice to have 2 races or 3 races in a night. I don't have a problem.
Yep.
You stick with one big race and call it a night. That's something to put on the polls, actually. If people enjoy the 2-race event, not a problem.
So we are in race 2 of the Super 2 series. Currently, Jason Douglas is in the lead and in control of this race, with Benny Asplin right up his behind, just about to enter the pits for his fuel stop. Joel is now in second place, followed by Bill Cosmo. That'd be yourself, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't a strong race for me in the second race, to be honest with you there, Dax. So I felt a little bit slow. Either I'm getting too old, I don't know. I can't tell you.
Maybe you were just tired. You had a hard couple of days. There's a big race on Sunday, I remember. So, you know, it could be just that. You know, it's just, it is what it is, man.
Well, it is what it is. I know. That's what we all say.
So, but you know, I think it's a great environment that we've got going on with CTR, and a couple of the other leagues, and I just want to see it grow. I want to see it grow. So, if you are on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, check the description. You can find our championships in the description, and after I will post a new Discord link somehow on Twitch. I don't know how to do it on Twitch, but I will do that, and I'll post our Discord link in Facebook and in the comments of this video on YouTube, because our link has expired, which sucks, because every time I change it I say never expire, but it still expires.
Is that what happens, Dax?
Yeah. Yep. It expires. So, Mr. Vitali, going very wide,
I thought it was Gary Posey there at 1 second.
That is
Trying to outdo who's going to go sideways.
no. Posey wasn't in this race, and I guess it all happens for a reason. Like Posey is, I think, in the series. I think he's in the series. Let me see. No, he's not in the series. So he hasn't joined a race yet. Maybe he's... No, Posey has not registered for this series. There you go. So only 2 people have not joined a race in this series so far. And that is Mr. King with his unit racing livery, and Octane. Octane has not competed in a round of this, even though he competed in the first round. He backed out before the completion of the race, and he didn't do enough laps, so he didn't qualify for any points. So, yes.
We'll see him in the next race or soon.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back soon.
To follow, so another competitive driver himself as well.
So, did Posey ever buck Josh Bob? So Posey actually never applied for this series. I was just looking through the entrance list. So currently we have Jason Douglas up front in the Nissan Altima. Next week that Nissan Altima will look like my Nissan Altima. It will have the Country Thunder branding on it, because the 2 Nissan Altimas are with the same team.
So you're making it harder for me if I've got to take two of those cars.
You're going to take on 2 of those cars. Hey, we are team members in a couple of leagues, mate. So
I know we are.
Yep. So, a little bit of healthy competition elsewhere is okay. So, yes, I have that car will be becoming a Country Thunder car next round. We'll be changing the name on the window to Mr. Douglas's name, but the 23 will stay there. We'll just be changing the name on the window, so that will be happening. Which will be cool. And the Brute Utes have 2 Country Thunder Utes. But the Gen 3s, see now the Gen 3s is different, alright? Because you are DJR and I'm Country Thunder Racing. But I'm driving a DJR car. So I don't know.
Yes. Oh, well, might have to flip a coin there, Dax.
Well, that's why I was thinking maybe I should go with a WAU car, because no one's using a WAU car, and maybe represent all teams the best way we can. So I'm sort of prepared to take one for the team and move to different cars or different liveries as need be. As you can see, I've done with this.
Yes.
You're sending me messages. You're telling me you're going to go? You don't tell me that. Here I am in my house, unable to do that. You are nasty.
Well, internal text messages, Dax, are always a good one.
You are nasty, man. 2 hours and 41 minutes, and I haven't had even a thought of it because we've been chatting about the racing, about stuff that's going on with CTR, and generally just having a good time.
It's a pleasure, actually. Thanks. I didn't know I was going to last for 3 hours, but we're getting very close towards the end.
It's 3.5 hours. Remember, actually this is the second to last race. So one more race after this. The beautiful Cosmo livery there with the Shell Helix, currently sitting in 4th place, with Dax Daniel currently sitting in 5th place.
Actually, you were sort of getting close to me there, Dax, at one point, I believe.
Mate, I am flying after you. Look at me. Look at. See, you went off the road there. Bye.
The race had just finished. One of our drivers, Ross, actually did that. A race, I think, a week ago. He had a surprise position.
Yeah.
Where he thought it was the end of the race, and it was a lap short.
That's right.
And luckily dug himself deep into that sand pit there, and I was luckily to hold him off. So if you can't win on a pit strategy, you can also beat someone when they bury themselves in the kitty litter.
The kitty litter, because they think the race is over. They're going, oh, that's it, done. Throw yourself in the kitty litter. Drop me up. Put me up a spot. Good boy. So it's Jason Douglas in 1st place, and that wasn't good for either of them, but that's the end of the race anyway, so it was all good. So we had Jason Douglas won the 2nd race. Benny Asplin came in 2nd, and Joel Vitale came in 3rd in the Boost Mobile ZB Commodore from Erebus. Jason Douglas just having a bit of a spin around on the track in his and yes, the 4th place was Bill Cosmo, and 5th was myself, because the race had been said and done, and he put it in the kitty litter after the race. And but yes, that was very, very funny with Ross thinking the race was over 1 lap before. Yes.
Sean North finished in 6th spot. There, Dax, in that
one. Did he? Yes, he did.
Yes.
And this is the last race of the evening. It is a half an hour race, and that's why I say we are going past 3 hours. So 3 hours, about 3 hours, 15 minutes all up. And this is the last race of the night, but there are 5 cars on the track. Less cars. And by the end of it, it gets really messy. Again, reverse grid. So Johnny Bro gets the pole position. 2nd place is myself. 3rd place is Benny Asplin. And 4th place is Mr. Jason Douglas, with Alex Fazzari back on the grid, up the back, because he didn't finish race 1. Johnny Bro trying to hold him off, not having a very successful time of it, and Benny Asplin takes the lead into turn 2, down around into turn 3, bit of a lock of the brakes. Mr. Douglas, Jason Douglas in 2nd place, and Johnny Bro holds on to 3rd place. And I get shoved back to 5th place.
You've really got to fight your way through there. That's what I see.
You do. These guys are on fire, and you've really got to fight for every position.
And
now,
from get-go as well.
Now, what you don't see, you would have just seen a whole heap of smoke up the back. But what you don't see is that there was a coming together between Alex Fazzari and John Brown, and I had nowhere to go, and I collected both of them. I ended up with steering damage. Alex Fazzari ended up out of the race. I came into the pits after I got back on the track. Alex is behind me now. And so I came back into the pits. Alex has got past me again.
Guys, this happened all in the first 2 laps.
First 2 laps, all done, right? I ended up with... This was the funny thing. Now, the second race of this series, of the Gen 3 series, was, needless to say, quite awful.
As you can see, the big gaps widening up, and probably cars in the pits.
Huge gaps lining up, because we've got now, I am 5 seconds behind, 4.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds. Okay, so he's closing the gap on me. But John Brown is about 3 seconds in front of me. And then there's a huge gap back to second place, and Benny, because Benny and Jason Douglas avoided the crash. Fazzari's out. Fazzari's got damage. He's gone.
That's all amazing. That all transpired in the first couple of laps.
So Fazzari had the worst night, because in the first race he was doing so well, and then got a spike, a ping spike, that took him over to the 340, 350 mark, and it kicked him from the race because of the ping, the high ping.
Yes. What's the cutoff? I think it's 320 there, Dex, isn't it?
I think it's about 320, and it's only because we don't want lag on our servers, right? There's a lot of servers getting a lot of lag, so we try and keep the ping rate down low so that, you know, we can race cleanly without having any problems. There's me going into the pits now after that damage, after that collision with Fazzari and Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown just kept going. All good, no problem. He caused the drama, because what happened is he got loose into turn 4, 5? Turn 5, right? He got loose into turn 5, that's sweeping this one here. He got loose there, he came out wide. As he came back onto the road, he hit Fazzari, knocked Fazzari against the other wall. He got knocked against this wall. And then I came straight in between the both of them and went bang, just pipe plot. You know.
Said nowhere to go.
I had nowhere to go. Gave me steering damage, took Fazzari out of the race, and John Brown just kept going. But all things change. With only 5 cars on the road, we've got Jason Douglas leading the race. Now there's only 4 cars on the road. Benny Asplin is in second. John Brown is in third, and I'm in fourth. I am way down. 23, 22 seconds down at the back of the pack. What transpires in this race is absolutely beyond comprehension.
Okay.
So, there's John Brown coming down the pit straight right there. Well, he's starting straight right there. And Benny Asplin moving a little slowly, but I think he had a bit of an off, but he's still pushing on, and he's going after Mr. Jason Douglas in the lead in the Snowy River Caravans Mustang from Tickford. Special Task Force YouTube. Hey bro, g'day mate. No spoilers please. Right, okay, well we'll keep talking about nothing to do with the race then, and we'll leave you to watch for yourself. No. So the Snowy River Caravans Tickford, it's a Tickford car. James Courtney drives this car in real life. It's no longer a Tickford car because Tickford went down to 2 cars. It's now a Blanchard racing car, I think. Cool Drive and the Snowy River Caravans car are both Blanchard racing. But this was a Tickford car. And driven in real life by James Courtney. So it's very strange to see James Courtney up the front of a race.
And how much time did you spend in the pits there, Dax, fixing your damage?
It was a good minute or so because I had to fix the suspension damage, plus do my normal pit stop at the same time, which I'm perfectly allowed to do. And there's Benny, right up the backside of Jason Douglas again, because Jason made a huge mistake. So it was close to a minute, but not quite a minute, because it was suspension damage. I didn't do body damage. I just did suspension damage and dropped the fuel that I needed to drop, and away I went. But it did take a little bit of time. But that's, unfortunately, if something happens that terminally disables your car and you have to teleport back to the pits, your race is done. That you cannot come back out on the track. So that was pretty much what happened for Alex Fazzari in this race. His damage was way too bad, and he teleported back to the pits, and that was his race over. He couldn't. So you have to be able to limp it back to the pits to be able to fix it.
There you have it.
There you have it. But that's not the end of what happens in this race. If it wasn't for the major time difference, I may join these, but I'm at work when you race. Damn it! I know. It's all...
Actually, I couldn't get into this race, actually.
No, you couldn't. You were locked out.
Yes.
Because you didn't get in when practice started, and you weren't around for quali, and you missed the cutoff for the first race by literally minutes.
Minutes, yeah.
And so once you weren't eligible for the first race, then you weren't eligible for the second race. It was really, really weird. I mean, I could change that, but the reason that this race is locked is because they are paid mods, and we were protecting,
Maxwell.
Yeah, we're protecting Johnny's interest in his mods, and we didn't want people coming in and not knowing if they'd actually purchased the mods or just got them from a mate. So that's why people have to register with their email addresses and sign up properly.
Perfectly makes sense.
Yes. So there's another battle going on here between Mr. James Douglas and Benny Aspin. These guys are awesome racers. I don't know much about Benny Aspin. Benny Aspin doesn't come into the voice comms, so I don't know much about him. I can't say much for him as a driver because I don't know him.
I've seen him before. He's very competitive. Very competitive up the front of the field.
Oh yes, for sure. But I mean, I can't speak to I can't speak for his personality or anything like that because he's not part of our Discord. He's not part of our race comms during the races. He just comes in, does his thing, and goes. But I will say, he's a racer. He is pure to God, honest racer. He holds driving lines. He doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. If he makes a mistake, he's made the mistake on his own. He doesn't block. He doesn't do things like that. If you have the opportunity to pass him and you can pass him, then that's good. See, he went offline there. He took it too hard. And then suddenly Jason is back in front. He didn't get an advantage. He didn't cut it to make an advantage. So Jason is back in front, and away he goes and starts racing again.
Yeah, redressing from there, you're always going to lose time. It's going to throw you back.
Yep.
That 4 to 6, 7 seconds.
These cars are awesome. Now, we have had updates to the cars. Just today, the update was released. So, a couple of changes. Some changes to the tyre compound were done. There are not two compounds, just minor tweaks have been done to the current compound. The wipers now work, and it looks good in the rain.
Oh, it does. I'll have to download the updates then and take the car out for a spin.
That's right. You have to download the updates. Now, the thing with the wipers, that is done for a newer version of Custom Shaders Patch. CSP has a paid version, which is 0.2.3. In that version, which is only like $2 Australian a month, right? So I got no problem, right? But he's the guy that creates. I think he's the guy that creates Content Manager, right? He's created the new Custom Shaders patch, and it has rain effects, and so Johnny updated the cars for the people that use that rain effects custom shaders patch. So it's got storms, it's got hurricanes, it's got you name it. It's awesome. But I don't think we'll be doing a wet race because I don't think everybody's got 0.2.3 custom shaders patch version.
I see.
Yeah. So
now that just got released when? When did that get released, Dax?
Got what, the new custom shaders patch?
Yes.
Oh, about a month ago now. Yeah. Yeah, I've had it for a while. I don't use it a lot, and I never used it for rain until I was asked to test these the other day. And yeah, so I've got it. I've used it with rain now. You saw the intro to.
Yes, you did at the start.
There with the.
I was just trying to piece it all together there, so.
Yeah. So unless we have a rain affected race, which in Australia is usually unlikely.
pretty common.
No. I reckon. Okay, sometimes at Bathurst, it's common, but other than that, I very rarely see rain races now. Sometimes at Bathurst, yes, but Barbagallo, no. Hidden Valley, definitely not.
No.
Townsville, no.
No, not yet. No.
No.
It's been a while actually to say that.
Absolutely. We haven't had a wet race.
Even Tassie's gotten away with it for quite a few years now. No rain.
Yep. So yeah, but we won't be having a wet race unless.
You think so anytime soon?
So, how many cars can you see on the road now?
One.
You see, if you look down there, there's three, right? Benny Asplin, Dax Daniel, John Brown.
Yeah, there's three cars. Yes, if you look at
there's three cars on track.
Yes. What happened to the fourth car?
Good question. So Jason Douglas was leading this race, fighting with Benny Asplin, and blew his engine.
Oh, is that what happened to it?
Yes. So
very actually in the Gen 3s when I was doing a bit of practice during the week.
It is very. Look, I could imagine we were going to put the damage on 100%. And after a couple of conversations, I decided not to put the damage on 100% because these things are so fragile. You hit a wall, you're out of the race. And that's in real life as well, not just this car, this mod, but in real life they are fragile. The Gen 2s were built so much tougher than these things. These things crack under pressure.
As you can see, it only took them 2 laps.
Yep, that's right. These things crack under pressure. So right now we have Benny Asplin leading the race. Dax Daniel coming in at second. There he is in the...
Shell V-Power.
It's
Mustang.
It's strange to see a Shell V-Power Mustang up the pointy end of recent years. So having one in second place.
I got quite used to it, Dax, with the Scott McLaughlin era.
Yeah, you got too used to it with the Scott McLaughlin era, and then unfortunately ever since, not much.
Yeah, we've gone a little bit mediocre.
Well, I'm not the only person that says they need to get fresh blood in there. They've got to get rid of their drivers. No matter what their contract negotiations are or contract things are, I just think new blood is required in DJR with fresh focus. They brought Ryan Story came back, and Penske came back, and a whole heap of people came back. But it's the same old. Unless you've got new blood, you're not going to get anywhere, and they're just struggling to get anywhere
at the moment.
Well,
hopefully they can turn it around pretty quick.
I don't see Pasquale's doing better than Davidson. Oh look, I turned my car around.
Going to praise you there, Dax. Actually, you're doing better than De Pasquale and.
Well, I am. Yes.
You're in third spot.
I'm in second.
Second, sorry. Although I'm wearing my glasses, I still can't see.
So Benny has just entered the pits to do his pit stop. So Alex Fazzari went out at the beginning of the race because of his damage from the accident with John Brown and myself. I went into the pits and I limped back to the pits, went into the pits, did my repairs, put on fuel and went back out. Johnny Brown's been circling around without any hassle. Next thing happens, Jason Douglas blows his engine. So it only leaves Benny Asplin in first place, me in second place, John Brown in third place. But before this race ends...
Is there more drama, Dax?
So he hit that wall again. All right, there's John Brown going funny. All right. What track is this? Might get it from race department if I can. It is the Melbourne 22 track. So if you get, I don't know if it's on race department. I'm not sure, but if it is, just type in Melbourne 22 and see if it comes up. There's a whole heap of, it's a Formula One track. So Pyre does a whole heap of extensions to it. So the 2022, 2023, 2024 skins have been attached. So they say. If you are a patron of Pyre. All this stuff about patrons for this, patrons for that. Speaking of which, if you would like to become a patron of Country Thunder Gaming, just go to www.patreon.com/Country Thunder Gaming. You can join us for as little as $6 a month. If you don't play the games, that's all right. If you want to support us, you can get the casual supporters tier for $6 a month. We have a patrons races club, the Country Thunder Races Club. That is $8.50 Australian per month, and we will put on special patron leagues and special Patreon events just for our racing patrons. That is $8.50 a month. And we also have an ATS Modders Club. That one's a little bit more expensive. That's $20 or about 38 Aussie dollars. But we're putting mods up for sale in our store. We've got merch in our store, a whole heap of stuff going on. So check out our website, countrythunderaustralia.com.au, or become a patron at patreon.com/Country Thunder Gaming. There you go. Bit of a plug. Have to have a plug.
That's right. Yeah, join in, fellas. Into the racing. It's, Dax does a wonderful job. As you can see, get the fishing line to will be in with this commentary today. This is my first time, so hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves.
We'll try.
It's only a replay. It's very hard for me actually to sort of piece it all together because I wasn't in the event.
Well, you can see what's happening, so
I can see what's happening.
Yeah. But that's why I thought it was a good thing to bring someone else in, so we had someone that I can banter off and stuff like that, and then you can give your knowledge on the cars, the drivers. There's a whole heap of things you can do. So
yes, there is.
But we're going to try and do so. The next round of this one for us is the 17th of April, although we're doing the Taupo event for the Super 2s this week, this Monday. We won't be streaming it until we stream it together with the other Brute Utes Gen 3. I'm gonna pull them all together like this, exactly like this.
So the fishing line's going to come out again, Dax. You're going to wheel me back in.
Well, maybe you, maybe another driver. I don't know. We'll see. If other drivers want to be involved, or if there's other people that out there that want to, be a part of Country Thunder Gaming and Country Thunder Racing, we're open to having broadcasters. We're open to having live broadcasters. If people want to broadcast the races on Twitch with all the equipment and stuff like that, and we're happy to have broadcasters come on board. So, there's more ways to do it. It's just whether we can get the people to do it.
That's right, Dex.
So, I'm about a minute off the pace right now. There's nothing changes here. So, Benny's in first place. I am in second place. This is Albert Park. Yes, it is Albert Park. The file is the track file is called Melbourne 22 with no space. MELBOURN 22. He's found it. Yes, I just saw that. Excellent. See, you can see. Right. Now, what happens? He keeps hitting that. I've quite seen that. He's done it a few times. And I think it's hard when you're in the Camaro.
Depends what kind of view he's got. He's got the bonnet cam.
I think he's inside the car, but I don't think he understands the dimensions of the car. So almost every lap, not every lap on that particular point, but he's done that several times at that same point, because he doesn't know the dimensions of the car. So he's gone wide to take the next turn, and he's clipped the wall because he doesn't realise how wide this car is.
Maybe it's sliding all the time, actually, Dex.
The Camaro is wider.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
I've never driven the Camaro. I think you have.
I have driven the Camaro. Listen, mate. Listen. These are right-hand drives. They are right. You see? Right. It's got the word right in it. If you want to drive left-hand drive cars, then you're wrong. You're a southpaw. I actually find it really funny that left-hand drive cars still have the pedals in the same position.
Yes, they do.
Yes. So if you get into a left-hand drive car, you will still use your right leg for the accelerator and your left leg for the clutch. So in a left-hand drive, the clutch is right next to the door of the car.
Yes.
I'm like, that's the weirdest thing, because you learn to drive a right-hand drive car, or, opposite way around. If you're in the States, you learn to drive a left-hand drive car, or Canada, or China. China has left-hand drive cars. Most of Europe is left-hand drive. But if you learn to drive and you've got your muscle memory is everything, right? So if you're driving an automatic, it won't matter whether you're in a left-hand drive or a right-hand drive. The only thing you've got to worry about is perception, because suddenly your perception of what you're used to is the opposite way around. Most people can't drive a manual trans car now anyway. That is true. But I was lucky that as I was growing up, obviously I drive a right-hand drive car because it's right. Now, have you noticed that, sorry to stop that, have you noticed that Mr. John Brown has gone off that real time? The race is over, but he's gone off that real time. Guess what happened to him?
No.
He
failed to do a pit stop.
He failed to do a pit stop and got disqualified, so there's only 2 cars left on the track.
Well, there you go.
That's how that race ended. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Bill, thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure, Dax. It's been a
Absolutely
pleasure.
fantastic. And until the next time we race, until the next time we stream, my name's Dax. This is Country Thunder Racing, a part of Country Thunder Gaming. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.